Upavedas, Gandharva Veda story as the Krutayug ended with the reign of Swayambhuva Manu and Treta Yuga began with the reign of Vaivasvata Manu. People became increasingly addicted to sensual pleasures, greed, and desires. They were consumed by jealousy and anger, leading to a rise in sorrow alongside happiness in the world. At this time, the gods, demigods, and guardians of the world approached Brahma, the creator, and expressed their desire for a form of diversion from this sorrow, one that would be both audible and visible. Since the Vedas were not accessible to the fourth Varna Shudra, there arose a need for a fifth Veda that would be easily comprehensible to all sections of society. Brahma then created the fifth Veda by drawing upon the essence of the four Vedas. He declared that this fifth Veda would serve as the guide for the Purusharthas, namely duty, dharma, wealth, artha, and fame. It would offer counsel and direction for future generations in all spheres of action. This Veda would encapsulate the enriching teachings of the scriptures and also present a comprehensive overview of the arts. सर्वशास्त्रार्थ संपन्नं सर्वशिल्प प्रवर्तकं नाट्याख्यं पंचमं वेदं सेतिहासं करोम्यहम्. Thus, from the above story, it is evident that the purpose of Gandharva Veda is also to impart the teachings of the Vedas with an artistic flair. This aligns closely with the theory of Kavya Prayojana, the aim or purpose of Kavya theory, poetry, and discussed in Sanskrit poetics. After all, Sanskrit poetics traces its origins to the Natya Shastra itself. According to Mammata, the renowned scholar in the Sanskrit poetic tradition, there are 6 prayojanas, purposes of Kavya. सर्वशास्त्रार्थ संपन्नं सर्वशिल्प प्रवर्तकं नाट्यखं पंचमं वेदं सेतिहासं करोम्यहम्. नाट्यशास्त्र 1.15 गीतं वाद्यं च नृत्यं च त्रयं संगीतमुच्यते. संगीत रत्नाकर of Sharangadev. Those are fame, wealth, understanding of worldly affairs, and ethical codes of conduct, protection from amangala, unfortunate and unforeseen calamities, immediate experience of happiness through aesthetic enjoyment, rasa aswad, conveyance of the do's and don'ts described by the Vedas in the persuasive and appealing manner, akin to the subtle influence of a beloved persuading her lover rather than through crude or direct injunctions. 3.5 Constituents of Gandharva Veda. Bhavabhuti, a renowned Sanskrit poet, refers to Bharata as Taurya Trika Sutrakar. Tauryatrika Sutrakara, meaning the one who composed the sutras as the three performing arts. These three aspects are Nritya, dance, Geet, songs and singing, and Vadya, musical instruments. Taurya Trika Sutrakara. Sangeeta Ratnakara, a renowned text on Indian music, defines the word Sangeeta as a mixture of Gita, Vadya and Nritya. Geetam, Vadyam च नृत्यं च त्रयं संगीतम उच्यते. Sangeet Ratnakara of Sharangadeva. In addition to these three components, elements such as Abhinaya, acting and Natya, drama, are also the integral to this Upaveda. However, they may be considered as falling under the broader category of Nritya. Do you know, in the present day, Abhinaya, acting, Natya, drama, and Nritya, dance, are perceived as distinct disciplines. Even dancers and actors are regarded as professionals in separate fields. However, in Bharata's treatise, such clear demarcation exists between these aspects. These three elements, along with the musical components, are closely interwoven. Indeed, in traditional Indian art forms, a strict separation between drama, acting, dance, and music is rarely observed. A pertinent example is Bharatanatyam. Although its name includes Natyam, it is primarily recognized as classical dance form originating from southern India. Yet musical components such as tal and expressive elements such as bhava and abhinaya are equally significant in its performance. This integrated approach holds true for most traditional dance forms across India. Do it yourself. Indian theatre has a rich legacy of musical dramas. These are dramatic forms in which the actors engage in additional art forms beyond acting, such as singing or dancing, which serve as vital components of the performance. The contemporary format of Indian cinema, characterized by the inclusion of songs within films, something that starkly contrasts with most Western counterparts, can trace its origins to this tradition of musical theatre. Identify and explore the names of such unique and popular art forms in which auxiliary artistic elements play an essential and integral role. For instance, Maharashtra has a distinguished tradition of Sangeeta Nataka, where actors are also singers who perform live during the drama, and the songs form a crucial part of the rasa is the most significant concept discussed in Natya Shastra. Rasa refers to the aesthetic sentiment evoked through any performance or poetic work. It is defined as the culmination sanyoga of three elements vibhava, anubhava, vyabhichari bhava. 1. Vibhava. These are the stimulants of the emotion and are further divided into two. Alambana vibhava. These are the determinants in whom the rasa rests. Uddipana vibhava. These are external stimulants such as the environment that aid in evoking the emotion. Two, Anubhava, these are the constituents. They represent the physical or emotional responses that follow the vibhavas and include fourfold abhinaya. 3. Vyabhichari bhava. These are fleeting or transitory emotional states that momentarily diverge from the sthai bhava, which is the dominant emotion intended to be evoked by the rasa. Each rasa has a sthai bhava, permanent, stable, all pervading emotion that it seeks to convey. This bhava is generalized or the nighttime setting, the forest, and similar elements constitute the Uddipana bhava, vibhavas, additional factors that enhance the emotional stimulus. The expressions and physical responses of the actor, such as trembling, shouting, and running, represent the anubhava or the consequent emotional expressions. Meanwhile, the internal states, such as anxiety about escaping the tiger for, or fainting from fear, are classified as Vyabhichari bhava, the transitory emotional states. When all these elements are effectively portrayed on stage, the audience experiences the rasa, which in its instance, which in this instance is bhayanaka rasa, with shama tranquility, as its corresponding sthai bhava. However, Bharat Muni does not explicitly name this rasa in his Natya Shastra. The primary objective of any actor, singer, or performer is to evoke rasa in the audience through their performance. 3.5.2 Music. Generally, Indian music is divided into three periods: A. Ancient, B. Medieval, C. Contemporary. A. Ancient period. This period spans from the Vedic era to the time of the monumental treatise on Indian music, the Sangeet Ratnakara by Sharangadeva. It reflects the development of the musical tradition within the Indic civilization. The roots of Indian music lie in the Vedic recitation of mantras. In fact, there were traditionally three types of reciters of Vedic mantras, namely A. Archika. These reciters chanted the Rupvedic mantras using only one note swara during their recitation, Ekaswara. B. Gathika. These reciters chanted mantras with the Brahmana texts employing two notes, swaras in their recitation, Dviswara. C. Samika. These reciters chanted mantras from the Saman, that is the Samaveda, using three notes, swaras in their recitation, Triswara. So, Archika, Gathika, and Samika. 1, 2, 3. Initially, the Vedic suttas were sung in a single note. However, the search for a more captivating style of recitation led to latter mantras being chanted in two notes, Dviswaram, and eventually in three notes, Triswara. These three swaras are as follows: 1. Udatta, the upper note, Uchaihi Udattah. 2. Anudatta, the lower note, Nichaihi Anudatta. 3. Swarita, the neutral note, Samaharas Svaritaha. Eventually, these three swaras developed into a scale of 7 notes, according to the Naradiya Shiksha, a text on the pronunciation of the Vedas. Naradiya Shiksha. The 7 swaras in present day Indian music are connected to the 3 swaras of Vedic chanting as follows. 1. Udatta, Nishadani and Gandhar G. 2. Anudatta, Rushabha, Re, Ri and Dhaivata Dha. 3. Swarita, Shadja Sa, Madhyama Ma and Panchama Pa. References to musicology. One such story involving a fox and donkey makes a reference to the 7 swaras. Story. There was once a fox and a donkey who were close friends. They would visit a cucumber field at night, taking advantage of the guard's slumber to jump over the fence, feast on the cucumbers, and return unnoticed. On one such occasion, enchanted by the serenity of the night, particularly as it was Sharat Purnima, a full moon night renowned for its beauty, the donkey felt compelled to sing. So taken was he by the tranquil atmosphere that he ignored the fox's repeated warnings to sing Swaranam Sattanam Arohanam Avarohanam of the 7 notes. The presence of musicology references in such a text implies that a king or ruler was expected to possess knowledge of music and the arts, in addition to expertise in governance and warfare. Important concepts in music that were developed during this period include 1. 7 swaras notes. 2. 3 gramas, a scale of 7 notes starting on a particular note. 3. 21 murchanas, modulations or shifting of the tone from one note to another. 4. 3 layas, the temporal separation of sounds or rhythm. 5. 9 rasas. 6. 3 sthayis, octaves. 7 shrutis. However, the concept of Adhar Shadja, one of the fundamental principles in the development of Raga, a concept unique to Indian classical music, had not yet emerged during this period. Consequently, the evolution of Raga did not take place in this stage. Do it yourself. Indian classical music comprises 7 swaras. Treatise. Sangeet Ratnakar, authored by Sangeet Sharangdev. A. Rag. The word rag is derived from the Sanskrit root ranja, which means to delight. However, not all the ragas convey a joyful or delightful mood. Each raga evokes a particular emotion, rasa, such as shanta, calm, veera, brave, aggressive, shringara, romantic, erotic, and so on. A raga is a melodic form or framework that is open to improvisation by the performer. It is a unique feature of Indian classical music and should not be confused with a mere scale. Tonic note chosen arbitrarily by the performer. See Samvadiswara, the second most important note in the raga, typically used in conjunction with the Vadi to enhance the melodic effect. D. Vivadiswara, a note that does not traditionally belong to the structure of the raga but may still be skillfully incorporated by accomplished vocalists or instrumentalists to enhance its aesthetic appeal. E. Aroha, the ascent of the notes. F. Avaroha, the descending sequence of notes in the raga. The relationship between rasa and raga is a complex one. The same raga, when rendered different sentiments or moods, although it is generally stated that each raga conveys a specific rasa, it is indeed possible to express multiple rasas through the same raga. The emotions conveyed through a raga often reflect the interpretation of the composition by the performer, in which emotions they wish to communicate through their improvisation. Do it yourself. Refer to the following video in which the same song is rendered by two different singers in distinct styles, each conveying different emotions and interpretations of the composition. The link is given. Do you know? Every raga invokes and modulates the emotions, sentiments, moods, rasa. However, did you know that historically certain ragas were also believed to influence natural phenomena? Such manipulation of natural elements, though required absolute mastery in the rendition of the raga. One of the most well-known examples is Raga Meghamallar, which when sung in perfection is traditionally believed to have the power to bring rain. A famous legend speaks of the court musician Tansen, who served in the court of Emperor Akbar. Tansen was reputed to possess the extraordinary ability to influence the elements through his singing, a skill he is said to have passed on to his daughter. According to the legend, in an advertisement that set a Guinness World Record, a Mega Santur billboard was installed at Vijayawada railway station, which plays a rendition of Raga Meghmalla triggered by rain showers. Do it yourself, list down some famous ragas and the rasa that they evoke. B. Tal. Tal refers to B. Tal. Tal refers to the musical measure, a rhythmic beats of tal are a within a tal contrasting with clap to provide T T Carnatic system. Adita tradition was around 7 core talas. 3. Duration of notes. In Hindustani music, notes are typically sustained for longer durations, whereas in Carnatic music, notes are rendered with greater oscillation but shorter duration. 4. Language. Hindustani compositions are commonly in Hindi on composition. Carnatic music gives more importance. Watch the following video in which the speaker explains the differences between the two styles through demonstration. Do it yourself. Listen to the following jugalbandi between Carnatic and Hindustani music and note the differences you observe between instruments. He categorized the rich legacy of classical dance. Many of these dance forms are derived from Natya Shastra, the prime dance, Indian classical traditions, though defined movement due to its. Do it yourself. Watch the following video of Jugalbandi between Bharatnatyam, Mohiniyattam and Kuchipudi. Analyze the dance movements. Can you identify the key features of the movements in the dances? Also observe the similarities and differences in their movements. Which of these dances depicts the Lasya Bhav more prominently? Link is given. 3.5.5. Four types of Abhinayas. The Natya Shastra describes four types of Abhinaya. 1. Angika. This refers to expression through bodily movements such as gestures of the head, hands and facial expressions. 2. Vachika. This refers to expression through speech. For instance, a singer conveys rasa, emotion, through vocal expression. 3. Aharya. This pertains to costumes and staging, also known as Nepathya. It includes attire, makeup, lighting, background, music, set, design, and other visual elements form a vital component of Angika Abhinay. In all classical dance forms, these dance forms do not employ Vachika Abhinay, spoken word. The primary means of storytelling lie in facial expressions and mudras, hand gestures. Do you know? Angika Abhinay is not limited to drama or dance. Over time, it has become an inherent feature of Indian culture and communication. Gestures and body language serve as effective means of expression. Certain physical gestures are so distinctive that they are often identified by foreigners as uniquely Indian. For instance, the well-known Indian head nod remains a mystery to many unfamiliar with Indian cultural nuances. Foreigners are often puzzled by its varied meanings. A renowned news agency has explored this phenomenon, tracing its cultural roots to the Thalai, Thalai, Thalaiyatti Bommani, literally meaning the head shaking doll of a classical dancer. Thalaiyatti Bommani. Link is given. Cracking Indians. Mystified nod code. Communication is inseparable from culture. The distinctiveness of Indian culture, shaped by its rich historical tradition, is reflected in its unique modes of communication. Take a look at the following video to understand how hand gestures, hastamudras, are creatively employed to convey in flight safety instructions. 3.5 and 7 drama. The Natya Shastra defines 10 types of dramas as follows. 32. नाटकं सप्रकरणामङ्को व्यायोग एव च बाणस्समवकारश्च वीथिप्रहसनं डिमः इहा मृगश्च विज्ञेयो दशमो नाट्यलक्षणे एतेषां लक्षणमहं व्याख्यास्याम्यनुपूर्वशः. नाट्यशास्त्र 20.2.3. Nataka. This type features a well-known plot, typically drawn from the Itihas or Puranas. It should consist of 5 to 10 acts. The hero is usually a king or a noble godlike figure. The principal rasa is Shrungar or Veera. 2. Prakarana. In this form, both the plot and characters are original creations of the dramatist. While it is structurally similar to the natak, the hero is not a prince. The dominant rasa is Shrungar. 3. Bhana. Bhana. This is a solo performance, Dima, based on a conflict heroes and lasts for 18 nadikas, approximately and 12 minutes. 8. Vithi, a short one-act play performed by one or two characters. It incorporates all 9 rasas. 9. Anka. Utsrishtikanka. Utsrishtikanka. The plot may be either well-known or original. 10. Ihamruga. This form involves celestial heroes contending over a celestial heroine, often including scenes of her abduction. The plot is partially based on popular tales and partially the dramatist's invention. 3.6. Relevance of Gandharva Veda, Science of Arts. In contemporary times, creative fields such as music, dance, and so on fall under the broad category of the arts. These are generally distinguished from the sciences, which involve a structured body of knowledge developed through observation, experimentation, and a rigorous explanation of phenomena. It is noteworthy that the Indic civilization developed systematic treatises or shastras on the arts, treating them as sciences in their own right. For example, the Natya Shastra is a shastra, a scientific treatise on the performing arts. Indic thinkers such as Bharata Muni made concerted efforts. Nitivad, Bhunitivad, Bhuktivad, and Abhivyaktivad. Abhivyaktivad or Abhinav Gupta of Abhinav Gupta is the most popular and widely accepted opinion among Sanskrit scholars. Temple architecture, especially through sculptors sculptures and iconography has played a significant role in preserving the knowledge outlined in the Natya Shastra. Indian temples often depict various dance postures and musical instruments through intricate carvings. A prominent example is the Na- Nata Mandapa, Nata Mandapa of the Sun Temple at Konark, where numerous musical instruments and dance positions are sculpted on the temple walls. Link is given. 3.7 Conclusion. From the foregoing, it is amply evident that Gandharva Veda or Natya Veda has had a profound influence on the culture of India. The organized structure and scholarly traditions in the field of drama, music, and dance reflect the intellectual character of Indian civilization and culture. Artistic expression serves as the facade of any civilization, revealing its underlying intellectual legacy. Undoubtedly, the Indic civilization, also known as Bharata, is richly endowed with well developed artistic traditions and a vibrant cultural ethos that continues to nurture its intellectual advancement. 3.8 Overview of the chapter. Gandharva Veda, Music, Gandharva Veda, Performance, Natya Veda. Vadya, Instrumental Music, Atodhya, Geeta, Vocal. Ancient period, medieval, development of seven notes, Sangeet Ratnagar text. Rasa, Sthai, development of Raga and Tala. Hindustani and Carnatic. Performance with Nrutya, body movements, Natya, drama, Nrutya, dance. Abhinaya, Angika, Vachika, Aharya, Satvika. Bibliography. Unni NP Natya Shastra text with introduction, English translation and indices. Pandit Kedarnath, the Natya Shastra by Shri Bharat Muni, Nirnay Sagar Press. Ghosh Manamohan, the Natya Shastra ascribed to Bharat Muni, the Royal Asiatic Society of Bengal. Shringi, Dr. R.K. Sangeet Ratnakar of Sharangdeva. Sanskrit text and English translation with comments and notes. Munshi Ram Manohar Lal Publications Private Limited. Links are given. Bibliography. Chinmaya Vishwavidyapith Channel Music and Dance in Ancient India by Ruchita Rane. Chinmaya Vishwavidyapith Channel Sanskrit Theatre Past, Present and Future by Dr. Prasad Bhide. IIT Gandhinagar Channel Sanskrit Drama in Theory and Performance, Prasad Bhide. Ministry of Culture along with IIT Bombay, Indian Culture, Musical Instruments of India. Taj Mahal T Channel, Taj Mahal Meghasantur, Guinness World Record. G Music Marathi Channel, Ghe Chand, Shankar Mahadevam. Katyar Karazad Bhosle, Sachin Purgamkar, Pandit Jitendra Abhisheki. Sangeet Shankar Creations Channel, Shankar Mahadevan talks about Hindustani versus Carnatic music knowledge series. Indian Raga channel, confluence of three Indian classical dance styles Bharatanatyam, Kuchipudi, and Odissi. Wild Films India channel, classical dances of India. Indrani Paul channel, Manipuri dance. तांडवलास्य वैशाली बसु सरकार तांडवलास्य विभेद एयर इंडिया ऑफिशियल चैनल सेफ्टी मुद्राज एयर इंडियाज इन फ्लाइट सेफ्टी वीडियो इंडिया वीडियो .org चैनल बेस्ट ऑफ कर्नाटिक हिंदुस्तानी जुगलबंदी राग नटजोग सिंगर्स गायत्री श्री रंजनी Konark Sun Temple, Chariot of Sun God, official website of Konark Sun Temple, Konark Nata Mandir, accessed on 31st May 2024. These links are there. Chapter 4 Sthapatya Veda Vastoshpate pratijane yasman stvavesho anamivo bhavanah yatve mahe pratitanno jushasva sanno bhavadvipade sanchatushpade Rigved 7.54.1 O Lord Vastoshpati, you make our home orderly, free from disorders. Bestow upon us the wealth that we desire, and be auspicious to our people, Dvipada, and animals spate Chatushpada. Expected learning outcomes at the end of lesson. Learners will be able to define Sthapatya Veda, appreciate the rich tradition of Sthapatya Veda in India, understand the constituents of Sthapatya Veda, know the relevance of Sthapatya Veda in contemporary. 4.1 What is Sthapatya Veda? India has a long standing legacy of architectural marvels. The earliest evidence of the Indian architectural tradition is found at archaeological sites belonging to the Saraswati Sindhu civilization. The planned urban structures excavated at these sites, along with their renowned drainage systems, have always been subjects of significant interest. The science of architecture is referred to as Sthapatya Veda within the Indian knowledge systems. Sthapatya Veda is considered as Upaveda of the Atharva Veda. It represents a repository of knowledge, Veda, concerning Sthapatya, which encompasses architecture, town planning, as well as the arts of painting and sculpture. These disciplines form a part of the 16 traditional Kalas arts. The architectural aspect of Sthapatya Veda includes civil architecture such as houses, forts, and public infrastructures like libraries, as well as temple architecture, which is a prominent branch within the discipline. Sthapatya Veda is also known by other names such as Shilpa Shastra or Vastu Shastra. It denotes the science of manifestation or metamorphosis. According to Indian philosophical thought, Everything that exists is referred to as Vastu. The science that transforms Vastu into Vastu is known as Vastu Shastra. Therefore, structures or objects created using the principles of Vastu Shastra are considered sacred as the creative power and the creation itself are all regarded as divine in the Indian tradition. Do you know the common perception when the word Upanishad is mentioned is that it deals with Atmajnana, Vedanta philosophy, and metaphysical concepts. However, there are certain Upanishads that also discuss technical and practical knowledge. One such text is the Vastu Sutra Upanishad, belonging to the Pippalad Kalpa of the Atharva Veda, which outlines architectural principles in the form of sutras. This is particularly significant as both Vastu Veda and the Upanishads are affiliated with the Atharva Veda. 4.2 Literature of Sthapatya Veda. There are 8 principal texts of Sthapatya Veda, which are as follows: 1. Vishwakarma Prakasha. 2. Mayamatam. 3. Narada Shilpashastra. 4. Kashyapa Shilpam. 5. Manasara. 6. Brihadvastu Mata. Brihadvastu Mata. No, Brihadvastu Mala. 7. Samarangana Sutradhara. 8. Manushya Alaya Chandrika. Apart from these, following major texts also address architectural aspects. 1. Brihad Samhita. 2. Aparajita Pruchha. 3. Arthashastra. 4. Agni Purana. 5. Matsya Purana. 6. Padma Purana. Besides these, there are many other texts in which the complex sciences of architecture, town planning, and iconography are discussed. The tradition of Sthapatya Veda is believed to have originated with Vishwakarma and was later passed down to Maya, Nala, and others. According to some scholars, Vishwakarma and Maya were the two most prominent groups associated with the profession of architecture. From here we will continue. Hari Om.